Hey guys, we are officially in Uranus land out there this weekend. All weekend we are operating within a 3-degree conjunction to the planet Uranus in the sky. Things are probably not going to go as planned this weekend, you guys. We are, of course, also in a new moon cycle that is characterized by the Uranian energy as well. Our new moon in Taurus happened last week and it was also in a conjunction to Uranus, but all weekend we are building into our once yearly exact Sun-Uranus alignment. Coming on Monday, the 13th, next week is probably going to be a pretty wild week. This weekend, we could be honestly navigating some emotional challenges, I would say. The moon in Gemini squares Saturn on Friday, and then on Saturday, the moon in Cancer squares Mars and Aries. Feeling blocked, feeling held back, maybe like under attack or threats to our security somehow that are having the outcome, the byproduct, the consequence, though, of agitating some type of change, breaking up stagnation, breakthrough, sort of the name of the game right now. We have a lot of energy to talk about this weekend. Again, there may be some just more difficult emotional situations going on out there, but things are going to change, you guys. We have a week of change, a week of expect the unexpected, a week of perhaps some awakenings or just some readjustments, realignments coming in. Let's get into it, you guys. Let's talk about how things are playing out for us this weekend and what perhaps we can expect as we head into the energy of next week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, May 10th, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're going to talk about how energy is coming together and may perhaps be playing out for us as we move through our weekend this weekend, again, towards this exact activation between the Sun and Uranus that will happen on Monday. We are in these highly Uranian-oriented times right now. Of course, we're coming out of the month of April 2024, which hosted the big, rare conjunction between Uranus and Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, which was really amplifying in true Jupiterian fashion the Uranus energy. And now moving into the month of May, following that conjunction, of course, hosting our actual Taurus season, where the Sun will come into conjunction with Uranus, who is still in a conjunction to Jupiter, even though that activation is no longer exact. We are in that energy. That code has been activated and it is primed and ready. And this Taurus season with the Sun coming through and activating that dynamic is probably going to play off of some of the things that it may have started introducing to us, or the changes that started happening around the time when that alignment back in April came into its exactness around April 20th, give or take, you know, a week. So we are very much in activated Uranus energy. Uranus, what do we need to know about Uranus? Uranus is the great awakener. Uranus is the galactic fixer. Uranus brings silver linings and blessings in disguise. Uranus is the universal force that makes changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves in order to put us on a certain path that facilitates some future outcome that we can't necessarily see or perceive of yet to come into a fruition. Uranus has a lot to do with the future, with prophecy, with sort of like foresight into things, but it's because this is the energy that facilitates a destiny or a future or a higher potential to come into alignment, where it can ultimately lead to its expression or its manifestation somehow. So when we are dealing with Uranian energy, that's why, you know, it's the lightning striking the tower. It's because that tower needs to come down, and we probably weren't going to jump unless something agitated the situation so much that like the ground fell out from under our feet. You know what I mean? Like, and we're talking about Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This is a fixed sign. This is a fixed energy. This is one of the most notoriously fixed energy, very stubborn energy. So we are talking right now about a 7-year period. It takes Uranus 7 years to transit any sign. So this has actually been an ongoing process, and it will continue to be an ongoing process. We're about at like the 3/4 mark, I would say, in this transit. So we are really kind of like in the epicenter of this energy, especially with the Jupiter, the Jupiterian force that came through last month and worked to like amplify and expand everything that Uranus has been working to make unstuck throughout this 7 years. Now, as I was saying, Taurus is a very fixed, stuck, stubborn sign, right? So when we've got this energy that is all about dynamic change and rearranging things that have been a certain way for a long period of time in order to promote the sign of Taurus, the sign of the builder, the sign of growth, okay? In order to allow true, organic, authentic growth to happen where it may have been blocked for or stuck for a long period of time. So this entire year period is really about unsticking things that have been blocking authentic growth and authentic value along the Taurian lines. So this is going to have to do with everything that Taurus rules and represents. First of all, true potential, true worth, true value, and what can be built, cultivated, created, produced with that in order to produce something that is stabilizing, that gives abundance, that gives pleasure, that gives security somehow in like our 3D physical tangible world. This is a fixed earth sign. Taurus is all about what do I have and what can I use that resource, that asset, that value for to create something for myself in the world that I can then benefit from somehow. And Taurus is also this very sensual sign. It's very like sensory based. It's all about the senses, okay? So it's like wanting to experience the best of life, like the most richest like tastes and flavors and scents and the most beautiful pictures and music, like wanting to really truly indulge in the beauty of the physical world, but it's like through the resources that we have to build, to cultivate, to create that, and then getting our opportunity to indulge in whatever we've manifested, okay, through that process. The growing season I always think of in relation to Taurus, and this season it really is like a super manifestation season, and all the energy is very much oriented around the new things that we are building to shift our path moving forward somehow. Because also, you guys, as I'm always talking about, we're narrating the shift of the ages on this channel. We are transitioning from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. We've got Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius, retrograding in Aquarius right now. Actually, we'll back up into Capricorn for the last time, and then for the last time for over 200 years, and fully move into the sign of Aquarius come this fall, where he will be for 20 years. This is a period of time about self-knowledge, authenticity, self-actualization, activating some higher purpose, activating destiny, these themes and concepts in alignment with the Aquarian and Uranian archetypes, which I was describing earlier. Now, how that plays into this Taurus season energy that we are in right now and Uranus's 7-year transit of the sign of Taurus is that ultimately it is going to awaken us. Uranus is the galactic fixer, but Uranus is also the great awakener, sort of like as a byproduct or just working simultaneously or congruently to that. We are both awakening to things and then simultaneously being able to fix them, be it of our own efforts or just because of the situations that we are falling into or the circumstances that are falling into us when we have this Uranian energy operating. So in the sign of Taurus, it is going to bring an awakening to the truth of value, to the truth of resources, to the truth of potential, and what needs to be done in order to remove blockages to organic growth so that things can grow, blossom, bloom, and develop according to this higher purpose, according to their, divine potential, according to a certain destiny that is being activated right now. And the concept of like fate and destiny that is interwoven into everything really that is playing out right now, microcosm, macrocosm, it is very palpable and it is very apparent in the way that energy is coming together. Not only are we dealing in this very strong Uranian energy, which is all about facilitating a certain destiny to come into alignment, but the north node of the moon is also super activated right now as well, you guys, and it it has been all spring as a result of the North Node transiting through the sign of Aries right now, and the planets that have also been transiting through the sign of Aries. Of course, our new moon in Aries this year was that epic total solar eclipse that happened on April 8th, defining the nature of the energetic thumbprint that is going to be unfolding throughout the course of this entire astrological lunar year, from new moon in Aries to new moon in Aries. Also, you know, eclipses and one like that, that is powerful, like fated events, endings and beginnings. And that is exactly what all of this Uranian energy right now is emphasizing as well. Powerful realignments, powerful awakenings, dynamic change in ways that we could never have perhaps conceived of or expected, but nonetheless, finding ourselves on a path or aligned with an opportunity or seeing things from a perspective that literally like changes the course of our lives. And again, this is happening in a very divinely ordained fashion. We're talking about emphasized North Node, we're talking about emphasized Uranus, we're also talking about like the Plutonic energy, which is this very, very deep, powerful subconscious energy, transitioning from Capricorn, where it has been for a long time, into the sign of Aquarius, defining a new generation that is coming up, and really on some very deep and subconscious levels, also working to reprogram our relationship to our own power. This is also a very self-empowering period of time right now, which is why I think that over this next couple of years, and this has probably been an ongoing process, we're really going to begin to awaken to the truth of our own value, of our own resources, of our own potential, and how that translates into the sense of self-empowerment that we are then in a maybe different way than we ever have before, able to use our own resources to do the Taurus thing, to build, to create, to produce somehow, in a way that is actually like creating maybe in a level of abundance that we wouldn't have expected or anticipated, or the value that is generated through our efforts because of, you know, what we've recognized in and of ourselves somehow being beyond maybe what we could have expected, or changing our lives in some type of a way. Everything right now is really intertwined and playing together in such a way, though, that is calling for life-changing actions, choices, decisions, perspectives, like us finding this sense of self-empowerment and setting ourselves off in a new direction. We also have a very driven energy during this period of time, with Mars in the sign of Aries headed towards the North Node, emphasizing, again, more of this fated, destined stuff going on, actions that are going to be happening throughout the course of the week, throughout the course of the month. Not only is it the Uranus energy that is shifting things and putting things right, but it is also the Mars-Uranus energy that is going to have people spontaneously, impulsively taking actions that are setting them on a new course somehow. And there's also this vibe I was talking about in my last video of like an active pursuit, an active chase, and willing to fight for whatever passion or whatever desire or whatever goal we're very motivated to work towards right now. Very courageous energy, very assertive energy, and you know, people really going after what they want. This could also be something that is contributing to a lot of the shifts and changes and unexpected this, and I wasn't expecting that, and unpredictable nature of things right now, because people aren't predictable. A lot of people are going through this very deep internalized process of awakening, of transformation, of gaining self-awareness, and we've got these Chiron themes so strong right now as well, which is a lot of what I've been talking about lately. Breaking patterns, breaking habits, breaking cycles have been perpetuating for long periods of time, and as a result of that, you know, everything being a little shaky, nothing really being super solid, and therefore kind of primed for things to not exactly go as planned, to not exactly play out in the way they anticipated, people not showing up for things, people showing up and acting radically different than you would have thought or expected, you yourself having a different demeanor for some reason about stuff that may be catching other people off guard. All of that is really what we're dealing with, and Now we got to talk about the moon, the lunar energy that is accompanying our building Sun-Uranus conjunction all weekend that is likely to be causing these shifts and changes in just the way that people are acting, what they're doing, and therefore, you know, what we can expect to be playing out and going on as well. Now, every year we have the Sun and Uranus come together, so this is not something that is rare or unique. It's just because of all of the other emphasis on the Uranus energy that we have going on right now that is really bringing it up to that next level. But it's always like a more unusual time of year. Like things just don't go according to the normal like humdrum of things, like the mundane, like our day-to-day like normal patterns and routines. Usually we got something different going on than what we've usually got going on whenever Uranus and the Sun are coming into their yearly conjunction. But right now, it's probably just going to be bigger and more like all-encompassing in terms of the nature of the way that the Uranian energy is going. But there's also, especially on Friday, there could be like feelings of restriction or limitation or blockages or something that's just like weighing heavy on us, duty, responsibility, like conflicts with authority that could be going on that are pushing us to maybe feel like we need to make a change, feel like we need to break away from something. That could also be creating or causing interference with plans, with travel, with movement. That could be playing into maybe like the unexpected shifts and changes that are going on. Blocks in communication could also be present with this because the moon will be in Gemini, squaring Saturn and Pisces. An inability to express ourselves or to get a message across, somehow harsh criticism or judgments of our ideas, of our opinions, of our thoughts could be playing into what we're dealing with emotionally throughout the day on Friday. Then the moon will move into, after squaring Saturn and Pisces, the moon will then proceed forth through Gemini and begin to come in a square with Neptune in Pisces. This could be bringing disillusionment, misunderstandings, miscommunications, distorted ideas and perceptions, a tendency towards avoidance and escapism, just generalized confusion, unclear communication, conflict coming up between fact and fiction. We could definitely feel sort of like emotionally conflicted between what we're learning, what we want to talk about, the ideas that are coming to us, and maybe like our previous belief systems or some type of an authority or rules somehow, regulations that we need to follow, or just some type of block or control system or limitation or restriction, agitating some type of an internal frustration. So if you've got that going on Friday, it is a byproduct of the way that this energy is coming together. And then of course, when we add the conjunction, the tight conjunction, the within 3-degree orb conjunction between the Sun and Uranus, this is sudden change, right? That could come as a result of people just being over it, not wanting to deal with it anymore, deciding they are not going to follow the rule, deciding they're definitely like about to buck the system. It's very interesting as well, the symbolism that we have accompanying the energy to start our weekend on Friday. We actually have the earth, you know, the state of things on the ground, what's going on at 21 Scorpio. That Sabian symbol is obeying their conscience. A soldier resists orders. While we also have, very interesting, we also right now have Pluto retrograded at 3 degrees of Aquarius. That Sabian symbol is a deserter from the Navy stands suddenly aware of a dawning truth. Freedom is never the result of compromise. So we've got like 2 symbols right now that are talking about people like disregarding perhaps authority to favor their own conscience or like a sense of integrity or, you know, to do the right thing. This is also hard, difficult decisions with the moon in Gemini squaring Saturn and Pisces. Like we could have to choose maybe to do the difficult thing, making the hard choice because it's the right thing or because of something that we're learning in this energy. On Friday, we also have the Sun at 21 Taurus. A moving finger points to significant passages in a book. So it could be, again, an awakening, a sense of awareness that we are gaining. When the Sun, Uranus also, it is this prophetic energy, okay? It does give us a glimpse of the future. It does bring flashes of insight, sudden downloads, like epiphanies, just like getting hit by something and suddenly just like understanding it all, like an instantaneous knowing. So there could be, and you know, that's why it has to do with awakening to things. So there could be just some randomly enhanced level of awareness or like light bulb moment that goes off that maybe is playing into perhaps some of the emotional challenges that we're dealing with, or people making a decision to maybe rebel against something. Like that is, I mean, the symbolism is giving those vibes. And Uranus is also the rebel, you guys. It's a revolution. It's a very rebellious energy. It's all about authenticity. It's all about truth. Why? Because it wants to facilitate the potential of the higher self, okay? And when we're not being authentic, when we're not being real, what are we actually doing? We're actually lying to ourselves, or we don't have an authentic relationship with ourselves. And if we don't have an authentic relationship with ourselves, or if we are living in a state of facade, or we are unclear about our own personal truths, then how can we possibly move down a path in alignment with our true authentic destiny if we don't even know who we really are? Okay, so Uranus requires a level of authenticity, which is then translated into self-actualization, which is then translated into fulfilling the potential or the destiny in alignment with the soul's evolutionary path in this or any given life, which is the role that Uranus serves to play. Okay, so shakeups, awakenings, an urge to break free or an urge to break away, especially if we are feeling that restrictive energy on Friday. Craving novelty, that is another key word theme that I feel like is very, very relevant as we move through this period of time. Things that are new, things that are exciting, things that are like a draw. There's going to be also with Uranus in the sign of Taurus, this is Venus. This is what we're attracted to. This is what we find valuable, right? There is going to be a value in realness. There's going to be a value in authenticity. There's going to be a value in things that are novel, that are new, that are exciting, that are unusual, that are like off the beaten path or out of the ordinary in some type of a way. There's just likely to be an enhanced level of attraction to like wanting to get out of the mainstream somehow as this Uranus Sun energy comes into fruition going through this week. And it could also be like impacting what we desire, changing preferences with Uranus in the sign of Taurus. That is also like incredibly emphasized during the 7-year Uranus Taurus transit. I bet you by the time that we get to the end of this transit, if you look back at your life 7 years ago, you will find yourself in a drastically different place, because the things that you are attracted to, the things that you prefer, the things that you value, the things that you want and desire in your life have probably changed quite dramatically. I think that there is honestly like an overhaul in collective value systems, and therefore what we want, what we find beautiful, what we find worthy, what we are attracted to over this 7-year period of time where Uranus is transiting the sign of Taurus. So all of those things, as we move into the energy of Saturday, the moon will leave Gemini, will enter the sign of Cancer. Of course, the sun will tick 1 degree closer to Uranus, strengthening the conjunction between these two planets. And moon in Cancer squaring Mars in Aries. These are two planets in their own sign, and this is a 90-degree square. There could be some kind of threat to our security that we're perceiving somehow. There could be some type of conflicts that are going on between home and like within the home and family. We could feel, on the defense, or like we need to be on the offense, or just generally, like I said, under attack somehow. Internalized anger, frustration, hostility, general irritation. When we've got a moon in Cancer squaring Mars in Aries, it's like, I want to go, and I want to move fast, and I want to get there, and I want to seize the day and move ahead, but I also just want to feel safe and comfortable, and I want to stay, and I want to be home. So that's sort of like the inherent conflict that is coming up. It's like, the warrior and the maternal energy, like they are just not all that compatible. I want to stay, but I also want to go, and I can't reconcile these two, so I'm just like generally pissed and irritated and angry and leave me alone type of vibe. So if people are like touchy kind of in the energy on Saturday, you probably just like let them be and tiptoe away and go do something that puts you into a more happy place, because that's kind of just the way that this energy could be manifesting. But with the sun and Uranus together, right, it's like any of these little things that could be bothering us or that we're dealing with or that we feel embroiled in or that are just getting under our skin could be a trigger for some type of spontaneous or impulsive outburst or reaction or impulse somehow to break away, to get free. I feel like this is a lot of people like bolting. Like, don't be surprised if people just like are irritated, are angry, don't want to deal with it, don't want to talk about it, just like get up and walk away and don't say anything about it, and you don't hear from them. They just like need to get out of the situation. This is like a sudden exit, I feel like, could be coming up as a result also like of these emotional conflicts. Moon in the sign of Cancer, that's like this very emotional energy, and then Mars in the sign of Aries, this is a very conflict oriented energy, and then the 90-degree angle also brings conflict. But 9 squares are also about a need to make some type of breakthrough as well. Uranus is all about breakthrough, so that's another reason why I'm saying this could very well be a weekend of breakthroughs as well. Conflict within the home or family triggering some type of breakthrough, sudden change, upset, accidents as well. That's one thing that we do need to be aware of as this energy plays out. And there is the Mars oriented like drive, passion, anger, impulse that is going along with the Uranian energy, because a lot of times Uranian energy, like if we're being erratic, if we're being reckless, it can result in some type of accident to like, you know, slow us down or get our attention or shift our awareness to something like that. Okay, so it is avoidable. We just have to be self-aware. Like, we just need to be self-disciplined. You know, we just need to not allow our passions to get the best of us. It's like crime of passion type of energy going on right now as well, like people just losing it. So we do want to kind of stay out of the line of fire and just expect people to have very like short fuse, I guess, like hair trigger reactions or responses to things could be going on this weekend, again, especially related to things to do with the home or family, perhaps. But the Uranian energy is likely to create change and solutions, or just bring up like or alter circumstances in such a way where the conflict cannot continue to perpetuate. Again, a lot of the frustration or the emotional challenges or the internal issues that we're dealing with Friday and Saturday, as we are also building into the exact Sun-Uranus conjunction, are to agitate change, to create movement, to push us to a point where we are doing something different, or where different things are just the nature of our reality, in order to like break up that feeling or that stagnation or that limitation, or set us free from something that has been holding back. What is the key right now with the Uranus Taurus energy? It's all about growth. It's about authentic growth, and it's about the value that that growth will then translate into. So it's going to be a weird weekend, probably definitely a weird month, because there's this strange dichotomy that goes on between the very like fiery, impulsive, reckless, like perhaps even like anger fueled, driven, assertive, hostile, just like battle prone Mars energy, but also this like big, beautiful blessings, gifts, good fortune, like growth beyond expectations energy happening in the sign of Taurus, with Jupiter and Uranus and Venus and the Sun, all the Taurian energy. It is like this relentless pursuit of something that could be quite conflict oriented in nature, but also a great opportunity for abundance or success in our endeavors, or like in our conquest. It definitely makes me feel like sort of like a conquest energy, where we're like going after something like a battle or a competition, but ultimately victory over like said enemies or said competition, and in the end securing the bag or winning the prize somehow, maybe like at the last moment, maybe when everything was stacked against you, or no one expected or anticipated the outcome of that success. Also, this is leading to some type of unexpected or unanticipated, beyond expectations success. I mean, the midpoint of our new moon cycle will feature, it's a full moon in Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter will be exact conjunct Venus at 29 Taurus. That's like winning bigly somehow. Okay, so the underdog saves the day type of energy that we are moving into right now. Unexpected good results coming. So I really don't know, because it's weird, you know what I mean? Like when you see all of like the war drum type of stuff going on, all the real fired up, highly fueled, like very short fuse, like any moment anything could sort of blast off type of energy happening in Aries. But then also you see this total like polar opposite energy of just like all of this good stuff that is going to be happening simultaneously. It is like giving very you know, it will be interesting to see how these two energetic like features play together to create some type of positive or productive outcome somehow. I don't know. Let's talk about Sunday now. Sunday, we are only 1 degree now out from our exact conjunction between the Sun and Uranus, which, as I said, is going to be happening on Monday the 13th. We are still in this energy of perhaps being embroiled maybe in some of these conflicts. We do still have a Cancer moon going on in the energy of Sunday, maybe some hurt feelings. The moon in Cancer will square Mercury and Chiron in Aries, hurtful verbal confrontations, some maybe like emotional wounds that could be coming up as a result maybe of some things that happened over the weekend. But Sunday is probably the most harmonious day of the weekend, aside from the square between the moon in Cancer and Mercury, Chiron, and Aries. The moon in Cancer will also trine the planets in Pisces, Saturn, and Neptune. The moon in Cancer trining Saturn and Pisces, I do think is going to help us regulate our emotions, control our emotions a little bit more, feel a bit more internally resilient to perhaps the pressures that are mounted around us of the day and of the times generally. Probably feeling just generally a little bit more internally secure about ourselves or within ourselves on Sunday, and our ability to handle and persevere through whatever we need to in accordance with what universe is serving us up. So I do think Sunday is a really great day to get some work done, maybe around the house if possible, with a Cancer moon all about home and family, trining Saturn, all about, you know, getting some things done, being productive. Anything to do also with water or cleansing or cleaning or just being on the water, being around water. This could be beneficial way of using the energy on Sunday with the water trine going on with the moon in her home sign of Cancer. You will probably feel real good about yourself, like you accomplished something if you put some effort into housework or something like that, or just something practical and beneficial earlier in the day. As we move towards later in the day and the evening, the moon in Cancer will begin to form a trine to Neptune in Pisces. This is a good time, if you can, to sort of chill out, maybe take a bath, read a book, maybe just chill out somehow, maybe go to bed early if you can. Now, energy all weekend is probably going to be quite high strung as well. Uranus and the Sun together, this is like a wired energy, sort of like cracked out energy, high anxiety, very restless, very no chill. You could be kind of struggling to calm yourself down, find yourself maybe like pacing a little bit, or just feeling the electricity in the air as we're moving through the weekend and towards Monday when this energy is exact. It could just be a very like high anxiety, restless type of weekend going on. And that's why I'm saying when we have the trine come through later on Sunday between the moon and Neptune in water signs, this will probably be your best opportunity over the next couple of days to be able to like genuinely rest, relax, chill out. The energy of that trine to Neptune will help to counter the very high strung, electrically charged energy associated with the Sun-Uranus conjunction that is pending in the sky right now as well. So rest if you can, you guys, on Sunday, later in the day on Sunday, because it's probably, again, going to be quite a wild, maybe chaotic, like all over the place type of week that we are moving into next week. Very weird week that we are on the precipice of. So that's basically what I have to say about the energy this weekend. There could be weird weather stuff going on as well. I'll talk about that again in my next video for Monday. I mean, whenever we've got an earth sign that is hosting Uranus that is so activated right now, Uranus, of course, is like the lightning planet. There could be really strong thunderstorms, like tornadoes going on, just weird weather anomalies. So I would also recommend throughout the course of the weekend practicing a bit of weather awareness if you do also live in places that are prone to sudden storms or just destructive weather. So that's really what I have to say about the energy this weekend, you guys. Very interesting times that we are in, and it'll be interesting to see what comes with the energy that we are moving into next week. Let's get a synchronicity card now. God, Spirit, Universe, what is a piece of guidance or advice that can benefit us as we move through this period of time? What do we need to know about the weekend? How should we interact with how should we program our minds as we go through the weekend? Oh, here it is. It flipped right over. Don't envy another, which is always excellent advice. Let your conduct be without covetousness, Hebrews 13:5. Remember, you cannot have that which belongs to another. Instead, wish for something very much like what the other has, but never the very thing. For the time being, be content with what you have. Perhaps things are not as they seem. Again, this could be something that we're struggling with in the context maybe of some of these emotional challenges that are coming up this weekend. You know, when it comes to jealousy and stuff like that, cultivating an ability to truly believe that which God, Spirit, Universe provides to another, he will provide to you as well. And as exactly this card says, for the time being content with what you have and knowing that the thing that you wish to attain, it also wishes to attain you, or else you wouldn't have the impulse to want that thing. And it really is just a matter of accepting that maybe we don't have it now, but that we will have it, and we just need to cultivate gratitude for what we do have and work to become the person that is aligned with whatever it is that we also wish to attain. So we are not allowing jealousy or envy to control us or interfere with our process and our trajectory towards our personal transformation and the promised success that is associated with that as we move through the weekend, you guys. That's what I have to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would also appreciate this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, you guys, what you've got to say, you know, your feedback, what you've got going on out there. It is very valuable to me. I'm so grateful for your presence here. I really appreciate you guys. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. Like I said, I appreciate you and I value what you guys have to say. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group that is in my description box below, and that's where you can find that. Come back with me, you guys, on Monday. We are going to get right into our Sun-Uranus conjunction. It happens once a year, but this year it's the defining feature of our year. So we're going to talk all about it, and I will be here to do that. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful weekend. And until next time, bye.